What's good, YouTube? And welcome to Getting to the Merch Paying Off. This post about King Ice's Monster Reborn necklace went crazy, like 77k likes, people really gathering around Yu-Gi-Oh! It was awesome to see, and it went to the point that they actually sold out of it on their site. They hit me back up and are like, hey, we're gonna send you the limited necklace for free, and now I'm on their affiliate program. You can use code House of Champs for 10% off. However, I always put the audience first. Right now, they have a site-wide promotion for Treat 25, and it goes through the 31st, so you can get much bigger savings on your cart than supporting the channel. This one doesn't support, and I did talk to them about that I would always send my audience there first. They said on future collaborations, we'll try to see where we can balance creator codes and supporting our affiliates while also making a promotional discount, and I think that's really awesome that their team was that immediate to talk back that way, and really cool to get to know them. Now, in merch you might be even more excited for, the Nike collab is going to re-wave their shoes. Ah yes, even our shoes aren't safe from reprints. But seriously, the initial launch really did not feel like it was handled well, and they've said that they want to be able to appease people and make sure that they get a chance at it, and many couldn't purchase it, so yeah, they're gonna be putting this back out, at least in Japan, and it did say something about on the app, so keep an eye out for that. Get to the cards, though, with an interesting one. Harmonic Synchro Fusion is popping off, and it's from a side set, so you might want to get this sooner than later. World premiere, actually, in Maze isn't the most opened in the world, but if you want to consider it for branded, the collector rare has gone up towards $15 right now, and the regular easy access version is $4 to $5 about. You send one tuner and one non-tuner from your face-up field to the graveyard. Special summon both of the following monsters from your extra deck. A synchro monster that could be synchro summoned using those two monsters in the graveyard as a material, and then a fusion monster that could be fusion summoned using just those two materials in the graveyard as a material. You cannot special summon from the extra deck the turn you activate this card except fusion or synchro monsters. You're already going to get fusion locked probably later within your turn, but being able to get that extra advantage out of your cards on the field for this card does seem very, very interesting. People are looking at labbing it, and it is going right now. Rescue Ace's support wasn't as hot, and it has a lot of points on Genesys, and I'm already seeing people backtrack from, oh, this was going to be so hyped, to, well, maybe it can do it in Genesys, and you have, like, I think Emergency is 33 points, and there's two other cards that are 10 points each, so it is limited in what it can do within that format. However, the collector rare for Ace Turbulence, which we covered, was going up, went up even further heading into that support, and other pieces have moved as well, but not the most in the world for stuff like Hydrant. It's just to note, there's no such thing as a free lunch. I've seen other people kind of saying, oh, this was going to be free money, and if you can make sales at this point, maybe, but a lot of it's backing to Genesys Copium and talking about that format, and I think we're going to see that with a lot of buyouts that end up not going into support that's going to be meta. Well, it could do it in Genesys, is going to be that backup cry to try to generate sales, and it's not always going to pan out. Look at Doom of Dimensions and how Genesys initially spiked it, and as a little bit of hype has left the room in terms of that announcement, it's back to $43 boxes at the lowest, and that's 3 cases stacked up at that price, and sales are down on the set once again. So I don't think we're always going to find ourselves in a position to where you just have Genesys to lean back on as a, yeah, it'll do it over there. Do your research, do your diligence, see what it can already do before, you know, the support bubble happens, and know your cards on where they can end up. But people are saying maybe it'll do it still. So let me know your thoughts on that. Crowley is going to finally see its support that it needs in Burst Protocol, I'm hearing, but it is actually all the way back down towards $7 to $8. It does go towards $9 quickly, but this is from the 15 to 16 it's been at. Is it just too late? I mean, it was, before anybody cared, around $2, and it could be mixing in with Draco Tail still at this point. Let me know what you think of this card, I think it's about where it really should be, but when the support is almost here, I do think that you might see people clamor for it a little bit more. No Punk Rising Scale is way up, and this is also on the back of Genesys, and I think Punk could be a sleeper in main, but it is around $15+ and quickly goes into the 20s. There's only that one copy here, so if you wanted a playset, you're actually going into the 20s on this card, and the sales are actually there on this card in mass. So kind of crazy where this one's going right now. We have Golden Cloud Beast Malong, and try not to make too many jokes about that one, but its Ultra has been going out of quantities, and its Common is starting to slowly get eaten off the market. This is a good target for the, I always want to say Artemis Slay, but it's Ultimate Slayer. And if this card is special summoned, you can increase or decrease its level by 1. Not the most important thing, but it is a tuner as well if you're actually bringing it out of the extra deck. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. That's the more important effect, and Slayer doesn't have any points in Genesys unless I've typed it wrong, and you're able to actually use cards like this to end up helping you clear fields or even bounce your own Lava Golem back in those situations. Ultimate Slayer itself has also been up. It's creeped into Modern multiple times. I'm not sure if it is right now, let me know. But the Starlight Rare has actually started to even go up a bit versus the past, and the Platinum's not the cheapest in the world either. Twin Twisters is up most likely for Genesys. It's Ultimate Rare and Quarter Century Secret Rare. There's not the most, free abilities to use Spell and Trap Destruction in that format, and you're still going to want to side deck stuff. So this is up, and people are talking about it in my Discord for Modern 2. I feel like it would be mostly power creep, but some decks do want to discard. Exo Sisters continues to go up. I just wanted to note this on the back of its really good support, that stuff like Sophia Collector Rare and other cards like the Secret Rare Ellis here, they're just getting targeted, going off the market, and they're going up in price. With it being a tactical tri deck over in the OCG, I would hope we get a good amount of reprints somewhere, like a spring reprint set, but we'll have to wait and see. Incredible Ecclesia. We covered the altar art, but also it looks like the Burst of Destiny Starlight, which was doing nothing but going down, is finally hitting that wall. And there's only a couple before it's back up towards 75. So probably down not as much as it has been. Dragon Ravine we just covered, and sometimes the buyout goes double down. We see people bought this into the 30s, and it now has a lowest listing of $55. I would gladly settle for the new Kaiba Collection Hollow Bleed Secret Rare or the Platinum Secret. At this point, they are still around, $3-4 for these versions, and I think the Plat Secret, $2. So I think I'd be settling while this is buying out if you just want a holographic version. And there is a tournament pack super with the Astral 7, and it is also at $2, so plenty to consider if you don't need to go max on it. Raid Raptor Rising Rebellion Falcon is just up over time. I don't think this is for anything necessarily super immediate, but the graph kind of says that it's going that way. Raid Raptor players, I'm being told, play 2 of this. Let me know if it's finding its way into some other combo, but I think it's the different one that gets played. And the Quarter Century Secret Rare is actually kind of down over time while the easy access one goes up. But like I said, sealed product's not doing the best still. We have a future where the combination of Genesys ban list, Genesys hype can continue into those through its changing. And I know it's not a ban list, somebody corrected me, nothing's banned in the format, but it's point system regulation, and changes to the format there can still create hype within it and on the secondary market and for sets. And I think that's why it's created. It is to sell product. Whatever Konami does, they're a business, and their number one ideal is to have, hey, hey, maybe if the main format sucks, people can go play Genesys, or if Genesys starts sucking for a little bit, people can go play main. It's this alternate way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! To keep them in, instead of going off to those other card games that keep popping up everywhere, like Gundam, and League of Legends has one now, and just so many different entities that are more popular on the surface than Yu-Gi-Oh! But Yu-Gi-Oh! Has such a huge following. So I think having that alternate format, along with wanting product sales, will keep them on their toes for a while with Genesys, and then having those over breaks that we've talked about, I think is good for product, but I do think there needs to be more tweaks than just that. I think we need better ratios, but if I seem overly positive lately versus my negativity before, it's because it's the first time in a long time I've had hope. I really think there's a future for the card game at this point with where they're headed. They've fixed pricing at the YCS level. Every single custom giant card has sold over $5,000. The last time I looked, the current one was being bid at, and it was at $5,250. If you don't know, basically they now win a giant card and they're able to sell that, so they give the choice to somebody else. They're going to get it printed and hand it over to them. And every single one, as far as I'm aware, has sold at $5,000 plus. So fixing pricing to a large degree for that has been good, but that's not a community-wide thing. That's the competitive scene, right? We also have the casuals and collectors. So overbreaks start to try to fix things with collectors, but at the same time, after being burned by so many rarities, a lot of people aren't holding their breath and they're saying, I've got to wait and see. I have a feeling they're going to ruin it just like every other rarity, run it into the ground. And we do have to wait and see how serialized gets handled alongside that, and how the quantities are, how disgusting or not disgusting it is. There's a lot to take in. But for the first time in a long time, there's a light at the end of the tunnel for me. And I think that's a good thing. I said if they don't make major changes within a year, Yu-Gi-Oh! I think will permanently lose half of its base in 3. And I think this stops a bit of that bleeding. I've never seen in the community, I feel like, so much excitement for something as Genesys from the user base since maybe Master Duel, but then, it got really split on how people are like, there's not a way to play main Yu-Gi-Oh! Over here and it's best of one, and then that split off the community. Genesys really, really seems to have people that are here popping off and going and having some returning players. And combined with everything, I think we do have a much brighter future for Yu-Gi-Oh! Thanks for watching, everybody.